But my lesson in security, and I've talked about this several times at conferences, was really I came in one day and I opened up the safe and found in the drawer that you opened up a pink sheet of paper saying, "Please come and visit the security office." Turns out I had left the safe unlocked overnight. And I was a young kid in college. I was like, well, what's the big deal? I'm in this government facility that's got fences around the borders, and to get into the building, you have to go past a guard desk, and to get into the office, it was locked. And so to me, there was all these layers of security. What's the big deal if a safe is left unlocked inside a locked room, inside a locked building, inside a locked, secured facility? Well, turns out it was a big deal. And I didn't really appreciate it until many years later that I realized, well, when it comes to security, there's lots of moving parts. And, any one little element in isolation may not seem like a big deal, but it all works together to secure, in this case, classified materials that were locked in a safe. And I have reflected on that over the years, especially the last couple of years when I've been called upon or asked to come do talks and try to explain sort of the state of what we now call cybersecurity. We didn't call it that back then. And I think the biggest lesson that I've learned, or the thing that I've come to know or come to realize, is that back then, security at this organization that I was working for, everybody understood the rules. Everybody knew their role, and everybody followed the rules. It wasn't, we were mentioning before we started broadcasting or recording, you guys are trying to move towards trying to explain cybersecurity to the whole organization rather than it's the responsibility of one little group that's kept in a corner. Back then, everybody understood security and everybody knew their role to play and what was important about following all the rules. A lot of it was physical security procedures, but I think there's an analogy there. There's a crossover to what we call cybersecurity today. And I think it's something that we've lost as a society, if not as an industry, that within an organization, everybody has a role to play, and everybody should not only just know to follow the rules just because, but because it's part of the whole. And it shouldn't be the type of thing where security is invisible and security is something that's done by somebody else. If I'm opening up my tablet or my laptop or my smart device, there shouldn't be the assumption that everything is secure and I can just use it in whatever way I want to.
Right.
I have a responsibility for what I have control over in terms of security. And that, it's a little bit discouraging in some ways because I think a lot of that has been lost somewhere along the way. But so that's how I got my start.